Good morning, good afternoon, good wherever you're watching from. This is totally not planned, but something is telling me that something, my voice, my internal voice is telling me that it's time to talk about this. It's 3 days before I'm leaving Italy. 3 days before I'm returning to Israel. 360 degrees around many parts of the world in my life. And I need to talk about this. I'm reading every single day hours and hours of my quote unquote free time that I really don't have about what is going on in the world, obviously, but what is going on in Europe, what is going on in Italy. You know, this is the second time I live in Italy, 8.5 years. It's almost exactly the same amount of time that I lived here uh, from 1981, almost 82 to 1999, somewhere around there. And both times I left Italy with a broken heart. This time I leave Italy because I hear the words of my father, may his memory be of blessing, when he told me when I was a little girl. He said, one day I came home from school and I told my father that it was time to leave Poland because the Nazis were coming and they were going to eat up the Jewish community. And my father, whenever he spoke of his father, he never cried. I saw my father crying only once. But the emotion and the power of his love for his father was obvious. And his father's answer to him was, "What are you saying? This can never happen in Poland. We don't go anywhere. They'll come, they'll go, nothing. They'll come, they'll go, nothing." And family of 9 was destroyed. Family of rabbis and scribes and business people and fathers and mothers and uncles and nieces, all destroyed, except for my father. Why does this story come to my mind? Because I'm looking around me, I'm hearing the words, I'm reading the words. I'm incredulous of the horror of ignorance in this country. I cannot believe that television and the press, the media, come up with stuff that is so outrageous. And the worst of it is that people believe it. So, in my mind, I'm saying I'm reliving the dilemma of my parents. I'm living 1930. But in 1930, we were talking about Germany, we were talking about Hungary, we were talking about Poland. Basically, we're talking about a pretty contained area of Europe, of Eastern Europe. Here we're talking about the world. We're not talking about only Italy. We're talking about Europe. We're talking about America. We're talking about the world. We're talking about anti-Semitism, anti-Jews. Today I'm reading that there are places in Italy, like Milano, that have signs on their windows, "No Israelis welcome." That there are communities that are deciding that the regions are not bringing in medicines for the patients because they're made in Israel. I mean, it's totally, totally. You would put your own nation at risk because you're not bringing in the medicines from Israel? Because why? Because Israel made you safe from the atomic bomb, from a world war immediate around your life. I mean, you're you're talking about putting at risk your own nation for stupidity and non-truth that you've heard and that is out there and that is being publicized by irresponsible, disgraceful journalists that have no clue, that are all being paid, that are being, God only knows. I have no, I can't even say, I can't even imagine what they're being told to write and what Hamas and Iran is paying them in order to do what they're doing. But it's been going on for the last 20 months. So, what's been going on for the last 20 months that brought me to the understanding that I cannot live here is basically that the minute October 7th happened, this city that came to my house, celebrated, feasts, ate, drank, invited me for conferences, schools that invited me to speak to the kids on the day of memory for the Shoah on the 27th of January. In 19 months, there are 4 people that have actually kept contact with me. Not super, but at least humanly wise. At the beginning, I had no clue, and I waited. And as the months went by, in 24 last year, I spoke at 9 schools in 2 weeks. In 25, I spoke in no schools. In 24, in Palmi, I had 250 people at the presentation of the 4th competition of poetry for the Shoah and peace, with the mayor and the vice mayor. Everybody was there. It was huge, gigantic, immense. The television, radio, interviews, newspaper articles, everything. It was major, because for the past 4 years, obviously, I've done this all over Italy. Great success as far as the poems published until that time, 4 books called Solo le farfalle sono libere, only the butterflies are free, in Italian, everything in Italian. And then at Palmi, it's a beautiful place, was at the Casa della Cultura, at the House of Culture, gorgeous place. The president of Italia Israele Cosenza, of the big cities past Reggio, invited me in front of the whole public to have the competition in Cosenza. President of Italia Israele Cosenza, Lucia De Fiore. I accepted. Could have gone anywhere at that time. I accepted. From that time on, so we're talking about October, November, December, January, 4 months into the conversation, and publicity in Italy at that time wasn't what it became and what it is, because by the time the competition was over, and it was incredible work, beautiful work by the judges, by the city, by the mayor, beautiful gift of the mayor. I mean, it was, and the church. It was just like in all the other places the past 4 years, extraordinary and beautiful. Then comes this year, and I have no intention of going into what happened and what I feel about Cosenza and what actually was done to me. And not that I didn't realize it while it was happening, but I just wouldn't believe it until it was actually over. No television, no interviews, no conversation in the newspapers, no articles on the internet, nothing. Reason for that, I'm not going to discuss. But let us say that what needed to be done was not done by people who needed to do it and didn't do it because they were actually protecting their own position. And so basically, I was put into the House of Culture. I had 90 places that had to reserve. Um, Basically, I was told what I can and what I can't do. It was freezing cold. Um, at the final moments before we began, I realized what was happening, and I took things into my own hands. And at least I began the event with a prayer. There is no point in going into detail, but for 8 years, the UCE, which is the Union of Hebrew Communities in Italy, has been not only negative or non-accepting or I don't even have a word against anything and everything that I've done, but for this particular competition, they sent me a letter accusing me of making money on the competition and accusing me of taking on the law into my own hands, because in reality it's only Uche that has the legal right to teach about and to do things related to the Shoah. I looked at this, I said, okay, I'm going to make a lawsuit. And then I decided it's not worth it. I'm doing my own thing. And I'm continuing, and if they want to sue me, they can do that. And I did. And it was very successful because the poets and the writers in Italy supported totally the work. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous work. Great, great judges who gave their all. Dottoressa Misasi as president, uh, Angelo Ciappetta, Professor Angelo Ciappetta, and Tommaso Orsimarsi, great writer. I mean, people who really stuck, did the work against and knowing what the union of Jewish communities in Italy was doing. And I contacted the chief rabbi of Italy, never got an answer. I contacted the rabbi in Naples, which is the nearest community, the president, nothing. And there is, of course, the person who represents Calabria and the south of Italy for the community of Naples, who for 8 years has done everything he can to destroy anything and everything that I've done or that I've looked to do. And I did a lot, a lot, a lot. My mission was not a failure. It was a big success. The last 20 months were a horror. And the city that I loved, the people that I loved, the people that came to study on Shabbat, the people that came to celebrate holidays, learn about holidays. No one in the last 20 months made any kind of human movement toward asking me, Miriam, this must be a really difficult time for you. Do you want to talk about it? There's one person who last Sukkot offered me her home. I rented her house. I bought a sukkah that I put up, but we couldn't use because it was just totally, the skies opened up for days and there was no way of doing anything. But I still made Shabbos and people came. And then it was like some kind of an evil wind blew into Italy. And Mussolini came back to erect fascism and Nazism. And I remained, for all intents and purposes, alone. And I realized it took me time to realize that those who call themselves friends were there to use me, were there to take my title as ambassador of peace for the Universal Peace Federation. Of course, it was Italy, now it's worldwide. And my books and my person, and use that in order to make themselves look good, because wherever I went, we're talking about great successes. Until somebody comes along, of course, and challenges and looks to destroy me, which there are a couple of people that have done this and have managed to do this, and it's 19 months that basically I have not done a conference and I have not gone out to speak except one time, because a person had asked me to write a preface for his book, and so I was invited to comment on the preface of the book, obviously. And there was a person there who I know for 8 years, a very important poet, who, with her eyes and with her look and with her evil motion, seriously tried to give me the evil eye and destroy me. So, what's happening in Italy, in my little tiny point of the world that reflects on my decision to go, to go not because I need to, or because anything other than what I just explained specifically happened to me. And if I don't do my work, which is my teaching, which goes on as usual, my students are all over the world, so there is no problem. The work is always there. My books, my poems, the prizes, all of that is there. Big time. Big time. Big book is coming out with 50 poems. I still have a very, very important exhibition in Rome, in one of the most important, in the most important gallery street, Via Margutta in Rome. And actually, it was supposed to be November, but I canceled it. And I canceled it for the sake of the gallery, for the sake of others, because of the great unrest in Rome, because of my knowing that people won't go because I'm Israeli. And so why put others into difficulty because of me? Basically, I have no place to go. And basically, I understood something that I understood when I was a child. And basically, I've done this movement 3 times in my life to get back to Israel. And all 3 times, it took me back out again. This is the 3rd time, and this time it's not going to take me back out ever again. I'm going to come back to Italy to make my container in November, but basically all relation. I have to do the um, the exhibition in March, unless, of course, they decide to change that. And that's a possibility. I canceled a very, very, very important event. I waited 20 years to do an event with my new book on the voice in Spoleto in the Festival of Two Worlds in September, just before Rosh Hashanah, before the new year. And I decided to cancel it because it was simply too dangerous. It's too dangerous. Not only for me, because I think of myself as the last wheel, but for everybody else who wants to come, who won't come, who won't take the chance. And I understand it. Things will change. Things will change. The truth will come out. The real truth will come out. It will. But it will take time. And that is too late for me. The days of my life need to be spent giving and donating that which I have. Italy, to me, because of the work of my life, which is obviously the voice, was always the essence. And twice I'm leaving for almost similar reasons. But I'm not leaving with anger. Before I finish this conversation, I'm going to read you what basically keeps me in the frame of mind of hurting deeply, but forgiving all. It's the prayer that I pray before retiring at night. Master of the universe, I hereby forgive anyone who has angered or vexed me or sinned against me, either physically or financially, against my honor or against anything else that is mine, whether accidentally or intentionally, inadvertently or deliberately, by speech or by deed, in this incarnation or in any other, any Israelite, may no man be punished on my account. May it be your will, Lord my God and God of my fathers, that I shall sin no more, nor repeat my sins. Neither shall I anger you, nor do what is not right in your eyes. The sins that I have committed, erase in your abounding mercies. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Our Father, let us lie down in peace. Our King, raise us up for a good life and peace. Improve us with your good counsel. Help us speedily for the sake of your name, and spread over us the shelter of your peace. Protect us and remove from us the enemy, pestilence, sword, famine, and sorrow. Remove the adversary from before us and from behind us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, and guard our going out and our coming in for a good life and peace from now and for all time. For you, benevolent God, are our guardian and our deliverer. That's what keeps me every day. I sent a letter on Yom Yerushalayim, on the day of Jerusalem, to the new Pope, Leone the 14th. It's on Facebook. It's on my my international page. You can read it. I put it out. After a month that I didn't hear from him, I decided that I would put it out. So you know why I am leaving. You know where I'm going. And you know that I've done everything that I possibly could in this country to do what I consider to be my mission. I say goodbye with a heavy heart, but I say goodbye also with gratitude for the 6 years of major, incredible work that I was able to do in many schools, in many institutions, with many people, in many conferences, with many poets, with many writers. I've won so many prizes for my poetry. With many of my students, I am grateful for all and everything. And I wish it had been different. And I wish that many more Jewish communities would have been involved in the work that I did, but nobody was. The work that I did myself. There was not one Jewish community that stood by me and supported me in any way. The first year, with great difficulty, the community of Naples, but it was so immense, the upsetment that I left the community. It was impossible. And today, 3 days before I'm leaving, no one is wishing me well. And that's okay, because after all, who leads my life, who gives me life, who moves my life, is very close and will guide me till the last day. We will continue our conversations Shabbos, Motzei Shabbos, on the Parsha, and anything else that comes up. I can't wait to arrive in my beloved city of Tiberias, and I wish you, all of you, blessings and peace and truth, and look at both sides of the coin always, and try to find truth. Don't accept. Do not accept without being 100% certain that it is indeed the truth. And more than anything, pray, pray, pray for peace. Shalom.